He who is brave is free. Seneca. What if I told you that the single most powerful way to earn respect isn't through persuasion, charm, or bending over backward to please others, but by simply walking away? It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? We've been taught that confrontation, explanations, and constant engagement are the paths to influence. But Stoicism flips this idea on its head. Imagine this. The next time someone tries to manipulate you, criticize you, or test your patience, instead of reacting, you calmly step back. You remove yourself from the chaos. The moment you do, something remarkable happens. People start to notice. They pause, they reassess. And slowly, almost instinctively, they begin to respect you, not because you demanded it, but because you refused to surrender your power to their whims. In this video, we'll explore why walking away is a tool of the truly wise, a method deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, and how it can instantly elevate the way others perceive you. Stick with me till the very end, because the insights I'm about to share will not just change the way others see you, they'll transform how you see yourself. Number 1, demonstrates self-control and emotional mastery. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness, it's a declaration of mastery over yourself. When you remove yourself from a heated moment, a draining argument, or a situation designed to provoke you, you are demonstrating something far more powerful than any words could convey: self-control and emotional mastery. Think about what that really means. The world is full of people reacting impulsively, lashing out, and letting their emotions dictate their behavior. But you are different. You are choosing consciously not to surrender to the immediate tug of frustration, anger, or desire for validation. Epictetus reminds us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Walking away is the ultimate expression of that freedom. Self-control isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending nothing affects you. It's about recognizing those feelings, numbing them, and then refusing to let them drive your actions. You feel the anger, the irritation, the urge to retaliate, and yet you step back. That pause is transformative. It's a signal to yourself and everyone watching that you are not ruled by impulse but guided by reason. When you consistently practice this, people notice. They sense that you operate from a place of strength, not reactivity. They recognize that your actions are deliberate, and that earns an instant, almost instinctive respect. Developing this level of emotional mastery takes practice. Start small. The next time someone triggers you, notice the immediate reaction rising within you. Don't act on it. Take a breath. Step away physically if you need to. Even a simple pause before responding rewires your mind, creating a new habit where composure becomes your default state. Seneca says, "He who is brave is free." Emotional courage, the bravery to hold yourself steady when chaos surrounds you, is one of the most underrated forms of power. Another practical exercise is reflection. Each evening, think back on moments when you let your emotions slip or when you maintained control. Be honest but gentle with yourself. Ask, where could I have walked away sooner? Where did I keep my composure? How can I strengthen this muscle tomorrow? Writing these reflections solidifies the habit of awareness and self-regulation. Over time, you internalize a rhythm where walking away isn't an exception. It becomes your instinctual response when circumstances threaten your inner peace. Here's the subtle magic of this practice. It communicates more than words ever could. By walking away, you show that your value doesn't depend on approval, argument, or control from others. You show that your calmness is not negotiable, that your integrity is intact, and that your emotional energy is precious. People respect what they cannot manipulate. And when you demonstrate that your emotions are yours alone, unshakable and steady, respect naturally follows. But remember, mastery isn't about perfection. You won't always get it right. Sometimes you'll react impulsively, sometimes frustration will win. That's part of the process. The Stoics teach us to be patient with ourselves, to embrace each slip as a lesson, not a failure. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Decide who you want to be, a person of composure, strength, and control, and then take every opportunity to practice, even in small, everyday situations. Ultimately, demonstrating self-control and emotional mastery by walking away is not a tactic. It's a lifestyle. It's a declaration that your inner world is yours to govern. It's choosing peace over provocation, reason over reaction, and strength over. And when you live this way consistently, respect follows, not because you demand it, not because you argue for it, but because you earn it effortlessly, silently, and powerfully. Your calmness becomes your signature. Your mastery becomes magnetic. And that is the kind of presence that changes how the world perceives you instantly. Number 2 signals high personal value and boundaries. When you choose to walk away, you're sending a powerful signal. You know your worth, and you won't settle for less than what aligns with your values. This is the essence of high personal value. It's not about arrogance or ego. It's about self-respect and clarity. People instinctively recognize those who have boundaries because boundaries define who you are and what you will allow into your life. Epictetus once said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." Walking away is an expression of this wisdom. You're taking control of what you can, your actions, your choices, your energy, and refusing to surrender it to situations, people, or dynamics that undermine your principles. When you consistently uphold your boundaries, you create an invisible armor of respect around yourself. This doesn't happen because you loudly declare your standards. It happens because your actions speak louder than words. You don't argue, beg, or try to justify yourself. You simply step back when a situation no longer serves you, and in doing so, you show the world that your time, your energy, and your peace of mind are not negotiable. That's magnetic. People notice it instinctively. They sense that you are not someone to be manipulated or taken for granted, and that is respect in its form. Developing this kind of presence requires intentional practice. Start by identifying the situations, behaviors, or interactions that drain you, unsettle you, or compromise your integrity. Make a list. Then commit to protecting yourself in these areas. When a boundary is crossed, pause. Don't react impulsively. Take a breath, assess the situation, and make a conscious choice to either engage in alignment with your values or step away entirely. This is where the Stoic principle of internal control shines. You cannot control others, but you can control yourself. And choosing to walk away is a profound exercise in self-mastery. It's also about clarity of self. When you know what you will tolerate and what you won't, your decisions become deliberate rather than reactive. This clarity radiates outward. People feel it, even if you never speak a word. They see someone who is composed, decisive, and unwavering. And here's the secret: respect follows naturally from this consistency. You no longer have to prove yourself or earn their acknowledgement. By honoring yourself first, you establish an unshakable foundation of value that others cannot ignore. Another practical way to strengthen this habit is through small, daily exercises of non-attachment. Practice letting go of minor annoyances, trivial conflicts, or unnecessary obligations. Each time you consciously choose not to overextend yourself or bend to pressure, you reinforce your boundaries. Your mind begins to understand that your energy is precious, and your actions reflect that understanding. Over time, these small acts of walking away build into a consistent, powerful stance. Remember, walking away is not avoidance. It is a demonstration of courage, clarity, and self-respect. Seneca reminds us, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." When you walk away, you are wealthy in what truly matters: integrity, dignity, and inner freedom. You are telling yourself and the world that your peace cannot be bargained, your worth cannot be diminished, and your boundaries are sacred. So start today. Notice where you're compromising unnecessarily. Choose to step back instead of giving in. Let your calm, measured departure speak volumes. When you do this consistently, you won't have to demand respect. It will arrive naturally, instantly, because people always recognize those who value themselves enough to walk away. Your actions become your statement, your boundaries, your power. And your life becomes a testament to the strength of a person who refuses to trade their peace for anyone else's approval. Number 3, breaks the cycle of neediness or overinvestment. One of the most powerful ways walking away commands respect is by breaking the cycle of neediness or overinvestment. Too often, people cling to attention, validation, or approval, thinking that constant presence or effort will secure someone's regard. But Stoicism teaches a different truth. Your value doesn't come from how much you give or how much you chase. It comes from how you govern yourself. When you step back, you interrupt that unconscious pattern of dependency. You show that you're not swayed by impulses or dictated by desires. You demonstrate that your sense of self is anchored internally, not externally. Epictetus said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Walking away is an embodiment of that idea. It's saying without words that you control your attention, your energy, and your presence. Breaking the cycle of overinvestment begins with awareness. Notice where your mind leans too heavily toward approval. When you find yourself stretching, compromising, or overextending to maintain someone's favor, pause. Take a breath and remind yourself that your energy is precious. The moment you recognize that neediness creeping in, you create space for choice. You have the power to step back, to withdraw, and to refuse to be pulled into a one-sided pattern. That pause alone transforms your internal state. It shifts you from anxious pursuit to calm, grounded presence. Seneca said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." Overinvestment scatters your focus and dilutes your self-respect. Walking away restores clarity and balance. Practically, this is about small but deliberate exercises. Start with situations that feel slightly uncomfortable, moments where you'd usually give too much or chase unnecessarily. Instead of rushing to fill the void with action or attention, try stepping back. Sit with your own presence. Let silence do the work. Let your absence be a signal that your life and your boundaries matter. This isn't passive. It's an active demonstration of your values. By consistently doing this, you teach your mind that you are not dependent on external validation. Your energy is yours to allocate, not to pour into someone else's approval. Each withdrawal strengthens your inner boundary, making the pattern of overinvestment harder to repeat. Another practical tool is reflection and journaling. When you notice an impulse to overinvest, pause and write down what's driving it. Ask yourself, am I acting out of genuine choice or subconscious need? What would it look like to step back without guilt? Over time, these reflections sharpen your self-awareness, allowing you to recognize the pull of neediness before it dictates your behavior. You build the habit of conscious presence over reactive giving. Reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Walking away when necessary is not withdrawal out of fear or spite. It's an intentional act of self-respect and discernment. It is the quiet, profound way to uphold your values and demonstrate your composure. The beauty of breaking this cycle is that respect follows naturally. When you're not overextending, not bending to constant demands, you become a figure of steadiness. People sense it. They notice that you have limits and that you honor them. That calm self-possession, that refusal to be enslaved by neediness, radiates strength without a single word. Walking away doesn't punish, it clarifies. It signals that you operate on principles, not impulses. It reshapes dynamics subtly but powerfully, creating an environment where respect is the natural outcome, not something begged for or manufactured. Ultimately, breaking the cycle of overinvestment is about reclaiming your attention, energy, and dignity. It is about showing yourself and the world that your worth is inherent, not contingent. Each step back, each moment you resist overextending, reinforces that truth. And over time, this simple yet profound practice transforms not just how others perceive you, but how you perceive yourself. You become unshakable, deliberate, and undeniably respected. Number 4 creates curiosity and intrigue through absence. One of the most powerful ways walking away earns respect is by creating curiosity and intrigue through absence. Think about it. When you step back and remove yourself from a situation, people naturally start to wonder why. They notice the space you leave, and in that space, your presence becomes amplified rather than diminished. Once reminded us, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't be distracted and you won't be distracted. By withdrawing thoughtfully, you're not running away. You're showing that your energy, attention, and presence are valuable, and they are not to be taken for granted. When you create that space, you subtly teach others that you are not there to satisfy every whim, not there to chase approval, and not there to be a constant source of validation. That absence sparks curiosity, and curiosity naturally leads to respect. You might be tempted to stay, to over-explain, or to keep engaging, thinking it demonstrates commitment or loyalty. But the Stoics teach the opposite. Your worth is not proven by constant availability. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Likewise, respect is not earned by ceaseless presence. It is earned by self-possession. When you walk away, even temporarily, you show that you are governed by your own principles and priorities, not by the demands of others. That act alone communicates strength, self-control, and a grounded character, and it stirs a natural intrigue in the minds of those observing. They start asking themselves questions. What does he value? What is he protecting? Why is he not reacting the way I expect? And that intrigue creates a magnetic pull, a quiet form of authority that is far more compelling than constant attention ever could be. The beauty of this approach is that it turns absence into a tool for self-mastery. You are no longer at the mercy of external validation. Instead, you are in control of your own presence and your own energy. You can practice this deliberately. Begin small. Step back from situations where you feel compelled to react immediately. Delay responses to messages that tug at your emotions. Pause before jumping into every argument or conversation. Feel the tension of stepping back and notice the subtle power it gives you. Each time you do this, you reinforce the internal rule. My attention is valuable, and I grant it deliberately. That internal rule radiates outward. It is visible to others even without a single word spoken. Another exercise is reflection. After you've created space in a situation, ask yourself, how did it feel to withhold my immediate reaction? Did I feel more in control? Did the tension shift in the room? Reflecting on these moments builds awareness and reinforces the habit of strategic absence. Over time, you will notice a pattern. People start to respect the calm, measured presence you maintain. They begin to understand, consciously or subconsciously, that you are not easily swayed, not easily manipulated, and not constantly at their disposal. This is not arrogance. It is mastery over your own mind and energy, and it is profoundly attractive and compelling. Walking away is not about punishing others or being distant out of fear. It is about creating a natural rhythm of presence and absence that communicates your boundaries, your priorities, and your self-respect. Seneca once wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Every step you take away, every pause you allow, every moment of deliberate absence is a declaration of that mastery. And in that declaration, curiosity sparks, intrigue grows and respect follows naturally. So start practicing it today. Step back, breathe, and embrace the power of your own absence. Allow others to feel the space you leave, and let that space do the work of commanding attention, admiration, and respect. You'll find that walking away, when done with intention and calm, speaks louder than any words ever could. Number 5 shifts power dynamics in your favor. When you walk away, something remarkable happens. The balance of power shifts. Suddenly, the dynamic changes because you are no longer a participant in someone else's game. You are a player with agency, a person who refuses to be dictated to. In Stoicism, control over your own choices is everything. Reminds us, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. Walking away is a physical expression of that principle. It's you asserting control over your mind, your attention, and your energy. You stop giving someone else the leverage to manipulate your emotions or dictate your actions. When you step back calmly, you are sending a silent, powerful message. You are not owned by circumstance. You are not enslaved by expectation, and you will not surrender your inner peace for someone else's gain. It's essential to realize that walking away isn't about running or avoiding responsibility. It's about strategic retreat, about preserving your strength so you can act from a position of clarity rather than compulsion. Every time you refuse to engage on someone else's terms, you reclaim a piece of your sovereignty. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Similarly, power in interaction isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself. By walking away, you choose the terms of engagement, and in doing so, you invert the usual hierarchy. No longer are you reacting to their provocation or giving your energy to their agenda. Instead, they are left observing your calm, collected detachment, and that quiet strength commands respect more effectively than any argument, explanation, or justification ever could. To build this into a habit, start small. Practice saying no when you feel pressured to agree. Step back from conversations that feel manipulative or draining. Notice the internal resistance, the urge to justify, to explain, to engage, and make a conscious choice to pause, breathe, walk, turn your attention inward. By consistently exercising this discipline in minor interactions, you are training your mind to value autonomy over approval, clarity over chaos, and serenity over entanglement. Each time you act this way, you reinforce the principle that your peace is non-negotiable. Your actions, subtle though they may be, shift the power dynamic quietly but undeniably. Walking away also changes the energy of a room. People instinctively recognize strength in restraint. When you remove yourself from a situation with dignity and calm, you demonstrate self-mastery and assert boundaries without aggression. You are showing that respect cannot be demanded. It is observed and earned. Seneca said, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." By mastering the ability to disengage gracefully, you demonstrate the ultimate form of control. Others may try to test your limits to provoke a reaction, but your calm withdrawal signals that you cannot be easily swayed. That alone recalibrates their perception, placing you in a position of authority and composure, without you ever needing to raise your voice. Try this exercise. When you feel yourself being pulled into a conflict or a situation that drains your energy, pause and visualize stepping away. Imagine yourself removing your attention from the tug of manipulation and holding it like a shield around your own mind. Notice how it feels. Then, when it's appropriate, take the physical step back, exit the conversation, or disengage from the situation entirely. That act of walking away, repeated and intentional, rewires your relationship with control. You no longer give your power away. Instead, you wield it wisely. Ultimately, shifting the power dynamics in your favor isn't about domination. It's about sovereignty. It's about signaling that your time, focus, and peace are yours to command. When you walk away, you stop being a pawn in someone else's game and start being the architect of your own interactions. Your calmness becomes magnetic, your composure unshakable, and respect is given, not forced. This is Stoic power in action, quiet, deliberate, and undeniably effective. Remember what Seneca said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Walking away isn't weakness, it's mastery. It shows that you value your peace, your principles, and your self-respect above empty arguments, toxic energy, or unnecessary drama. When you choose to step back, you're not running, you're rising. Now, imagine the power you unlock when people start respecting you, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. This isn't about control over them, it's about control over yourself. And that's the essence of Stoic strength. So next time you feel the pull to engage in fruitless conflict, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If it's not, walk away. And watch as respect, not fear, naturally follows you. If you found this insight valuable, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because in the next video, we'll dive even deeper into practical Stoic habits that let you stay calm while the world loses control. Your peace is your power. Guard it, live it, and remember, you don't have to prove anything to anyone except yourself. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. What if I told you that there's something women value far more than $1 million? A subtle, almost invisible trait that instantly elevates your presence in their eyes. Most people chase money, flashy gifts, or grand gestures, believing that these are the keys to admiration and attraction. But what if the real currency they're drawn to isn't tangible at all? In this video, I'm going to reveal a psychological trick that taps into this hidden value. A quality so powerful that it can make your presence unforgettable, even without a single dollar to your name. It's something you can start practicing today, and the results will surprise you. Stay with me till the very end, because the final insight isn't just a tip, it's a mindset shift. Missing it would be like leaving a treasure chest unopened, while you stand right beside it. By the time you finish watching, you'll understand exactly what women subconsciously seek and how to embody it effortlessly. Trust me, this isn't about manipulation. It's about mastering the subtle art of influence and becoming someone who naturally commands respect, attention, and admiration. Watch closely. Your perspective is about to change. Number 1. Emotional security over material wealth. Listen closely, because this is a truth that most people overlook. Emotional security is far more valuable to women than any pile of money, any flashy car, any show of wealth. Money can buy convenience, it can buy comfort, but it cannot buy the quiet confidence that comes from feeling safe, understood, and respected. You may think wealth impresses, but it is consistency, presence, and reliability that create real influence. As Epictetus said, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Emotional security is the calm in the storm, the steady hand that says, without words, "I am here, I will not falter, I will not abandon you." That is priceless. That is magnetic. That is what draws people in and builds deep, lasting connection. You need to start seeing it as a practice, not just a quality. It is not something you are born with. It is something you cultivate daily, moment by moment. Begin by mastering your own emotions. Notice the impulses, the irritations, the insecurities that bubble up inside you. Do not push them away or pretend they don't exist. Recognize them, understand them, and make a conscious choice to respond with calm, with reason, with patience. When you can maintain composure in moments of tension, when you can listen without judgment and speak without neediness, you are building emotional security. You are demonstrating to others that they can rely on you not just in the good times, but when challenges arise. That reliability, your consistency, your groundedness, is more magnetic than any amount of money you might show off. To strengthen this, adopt daily exercises that anchor you in your own stability. Begin with a moment of reflection each morning. Ask yourself, how can I remain composed today? How can I offer calm rather than chaos? How can I be the steady force in a world of uncertainty? Let these questions guide your intentions. Then throughout your day, practice mindfulness in interactions. Listen fully. Speak deliberately. Avoid reactions that stem from insecurity, fear, or ego. You will notice that as you do, your presence itself becomes reassuring, your energy itself becomes a source of comfort. Stoics remind us that external things, the money, the status, are indifferent. It is your inner virtue, your control over self, that holds true power. Emotional security is a reflection of that inner power, and women intuitively recognize and value it. Remember, this is not a performance. It is authenticity rooted in self-mastery. You cannot fake emotional security and expect it to last. You cannot build it overnight. But if you commit to cultivating calm, to showing up consistently, to responding with reason rather than reaction, you will create a force far stronger than material wealth. Daily meditation, journaling your thoughts, or even just pausing before responding in a tense moment, these small actions accumulate. They transform you into someone who is dependable, who radiates stability, who makes others feel safe simply by being present. That is influence. That is power. That is the psychological trick that outshines $1 million. So start today. Notice your emotional state. Catch yourself in moments of doubt or anxiety and choose steadiness instead. Speak with clarity. Listen with patience. Be consistent. Do not chase validation through possessions or status. Anchor yourself in the certainty that you can control your mind, your reactions, your energy. As said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Emotional security is your strength. It is the magnet that draws admiration, trust, and deep connection. Money may open doors, but emotional security builds the rooms where meaningful relationships flourish. Step into that power. Practice it relentlessly. Make it your foundation. Every moment you choose calm, patience, and presence, you are investing in something far more valuable than any fortune. Number 2, genuine attention and presence. If you want to truly connect with someone, if you want to become unforgettable in a world that constantly pulls people in 1,000 directions, you need to master the art of genuine attention and presence. Women, like all humans, are wired to notice when someone is fully there, not distracted, not half listening, not pretending. Once said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Being present is exactly that, recognizing the weight of this moment and choosing to inhabit it fully. It's easy to assume that wealth, gifts, or flashy gestures make the difference, but they are fleeting. Presence is magnetic. Presence is priceless. It communicates something far deeper than material wealth. It says, you matter. Your words, your thoughts, your energy, they are seen. And that is more powerful than any sum of money. To cultivate presence, you must first practice stillness. Before you step into conversations, take a pause. Feel your body grounded, your mind clear. Ask yourself, am I fully here or am I distracted by tomorrow, by my phone, by noise? You cannot pour attention into someone else if you are scattered. Then consciously redirect it. When someone speaks, listen not just to respond, but to understand. Let your eyes, your posture, your energy reflect engagement. Avoid the trap of thinking you must fill silences with words. Silence, when paired with genuine attention, is fertile ground for connection. You show that your mind is not elsewhere, that your heart is tuned to the moment. That is rare. That is valuable. Practice noticing the details. Listen to the tone behind the words. Observe the small gestures, the fleeting expressions. Let curiosity guide you. Ask yourself questions in real time. What does she care about deeply? What emotions are present beneath the surface, and resist judgment. Presence requires suspension of your own agenda. It's not about steering the conversation, winning approval, or performing. It's about giving someone the uninterrupted space to be themselves. That space is a treasure. It is intimacy without possession. It is respect in its form. You can also train this skill with small exercises. Put your phone away during conversations. Sit quietly for 5 minutes each morning, observing your thoughts without interference. Practice repeating a single person's words in your mind after they speak, focusing solely on comprehension. Each moment of attention you give intentionally is like a drop in a bucket. Over time, it becomes an ocean. This is a muscle, and muscles need consistent practice to grow strong. As Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Attention is life lived fully. It is the currency of connection that cannot be counterfeited. And here, the key, presence is contagious. When you are fully attentive, others unconsciously mirror it. They feel safe, valued, seen. This is not manipulation. This is authenticity amplified. When you make the conscious choice to inhabit the moment, to direct your energy toward awareness, to listen with intent rather than convenience, you create something profoundly rare. People notice. They remember. They are drawn to it because it speaks to a fundamental human desire: to be understood, to be honored, to be met in full. So when you interact with women or anyone you value, remember this. Forget the million-dollar gestures, the polished words, the fleeting flattery. Focus on your presence, your attention, your capacity to show that the person before you is real, important, and worthy of your energy. Let this become a daily habit, a quiet discipline. Let it seep into every conversation, every meeting, every encounter. And as you practice, watch how the world responds. Presence is not just a skill, it is a power, and it is one you can claim every single day. Be there, be attentive, be fully alive in each moment, and everything else will follow. Number 3, respect and appreciation for her individuality. If you want to truly connect, if you want a bond that isn't shallow or fleeting, you need to start with a principle that is far more valuable than money, gifts, or status. That principle is respect, and not just any respect, the kind that sees her as a complete, autonomous person, worthy of her thoughts, her dreams, her quirks, her individuality. You may think admiration or attention is enough. It is. Women, like all human beings, instinctively recognize when you honor them for who they truly are, rather than who you want them to be. Once said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Apply that to your relationships. Don't waste time trying to mold someone into a version that fits your desires. Instead, actively practice recognizing and appreciating her unique essence. Respect her opinions, her rhythms, her space. Value her choices, even when they don't align with yours. This is a psychological truth as old as humanity. Individuality, acknowledged and appreciated, creates bonds that money could never purchase. Start by listening, not superficially but deeply. When she speaks, hear more than words. Notice the nuance, the passion behind her ideas, the spark of thought that is uniquely hers. Respond to that, not just to what you think she wants to hear. Notice the patterns that make her different from anyone else you've met. Celebrate them. When she laughs in a way only she does, acknowledge it. When she pursues something with a fire that surprises you, respect the courage it takes. This isn't complicated. It's consistent. It's a deliberate choice you make every single day. You have to train yourself to see her as a complete individual, not as an accessory to your life or a reflection of your ego. The moment you start to truly value her independence, her mind, her spirit, you step into a space of connection that is profound, rare, and enduring. This respect isn't passive, it is active. You demonstrate it through your words, your attention, and your actions. Ask her questions that matter. Ask her what she thinks, what she feels, what drives her. And then listen, Really listen, without judgment, without distraction, without trying to solve or control. Give her the space to exist fully in her own terms. Avoid the trap of assuming that love or attraction is proven through grand gestures or material wealth. True attraction, the kind that sticks and grows, flourishes in recognition. Appreciation is the soil, individuality is the seed, and your conscious choice to nurture both is the sunlight. Without it, no relationship can thrive. Practice this daily. Each morning, remind yourself, I will see her as she is, not as I wish her to be. Throughout the day, check yourself. Are you imposing expectations? Are you listening selectively? Are you valuing performance over essence? Correct immediately. These small, deliberate habits compound. Over time, they shift your entire approach. Stoics teach that control lies in how you respond, how you act. You cannot control others, but you can control the respect and recognition you offer. Make it intentional, make it habitual. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about awareness and deliberate choice. There will be moments of frustration, of impatience, of misunderstanding. That's natural. What matters is that you consistently return to the principle. Her individuality is sacred, and your respect is the bridge that honors it. When you embody this, you don't just build a connection. You cultivate trust, intimacy, and admiration that no material possession could ever buy. Value her uniqueness as fiercely as you value integrity within yourself, and the relationship you create will be resilient, fulfilling, and deeply rooted. Respect and appreciation for her individuality is not just a gesture. It is a psychological secret more potent than $1 million, and it is yours to practice starting right now. Number 4, consistent reliability and trustworthiness. Think about the people you naturally gravitate toward, the ones whose presence brings a sense of calm, security, and clarity. You know the ones, those who don't just talk but act. Those whose word is not empty, whose promises are not fleeting, whose actions align seamlessly with their intentions. That quality, that unwavering thread of reliability and trustworthiness is rare. And here's the truth. Women, more than anything, value this over any flashy display of wealth or status. Said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Reliability and trustworthiness are not just moral niceties. They are the essence of integrity made visible. When you embody these traits, you become a rock in a sea of uncertainty, a constant that others can depend on. You have the power to cultivate this trait, but it requires deliberate action. It is not enough to claim that you are dependable. You must become the man whose word carries weight. Start small. Make a commitment to yourself each morning. Today, I will follow through on what I say. Then expand that to your interactions with others. Every time you promise to respond, to show up, to do something, treat it as a sacred obligation. Do not allow excuses, distractions, or impulses to erode your credibility. Reliability is like muscle. The more consistently you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And here's the kicker: you don't need a fortune to show it. You don't need grandeur or spectacle. You only need your presence, your honesty, your consistency. Notice how quickly people can sense inconsistency. A word spoken lightly and forgotten, a commitment delayed without acknowledgement, a promise broken even once. These ripple far beyond the immediate moment. Trust, once fractured, demands monumental effort to rebuild. But when you act with integrity, when your actions are aligned with your intentions, you radiate a quiet power that commands respect and admiration. This is not about manipulation or strategy. It is about becoming the kind of man whose presence is reassuring, whose word is reliable, whose character is unshakable. To internalize this, train yourself to be conscious of your commitments. Each day, before you speak or promise, pause, ask yourself, can I truly follow through on this? Will my actions reflect my word? Let this reflection guide your choices. If you cannot fully commit, do not speak it. Silence or thoughtful delay is better than empty promises. And when you do commit, honor it fiercely. Track your follow-through. Keep a journal of promises made and kept. Reflect at night. Where did I honor my word? Where did I falter? This practice hones your reliability and reinforces the habit until it becomes instinctual. Consistency in action builds more than trust. It builds respect, admiration, and a quiet authority that cannot be bought. Seneca said, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance our acts with integrity." You do not need wealth, flashy possessions, or superficial charm to command genuine value. What women sense, and what all humans sense, is the essence of your character. When your actions are steady, deliberate, and aligned with truth, you become magnetic in a way that transcends material worth. So start today. Hold yourself accountable. Let your promises and actions match moment by moment. Let your reliability become the habit that defines you. Let your trustworthiness be the unseen currency that holds more power than $1 million. This is not a theory. It is a practice, a discipline, a quiet revolution of character that begins with the small, deliberate choices you make right now. Be the man whose presence reassures, whose word strengthens, whose integrity is felt in every interaction. Let that be your legacy, every day in every moment. Number 5, feeling understood and deeply connected. Feeling understood and deeply connected is not some fleeting luxury. It's a quiet power that shapes how people perceive you, how they respond to you, and how they open their hearts. Too often, we chase external validation, money, status, gadgets, attention. But connection, true, unfiltered, soulful understanding, holds a value that no wealth can ever match. When someone feels that you genuinely see them, that you acknowledge their thoughts and emotions without judgment or distraction, you step into a realm that transcends superficiality. Wrote, when another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar complaints, go to their souls, penetrate inside and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is nothing alien to you in human nature. To truly connect, you must step beyond surface impressions and enter their inner world. You must listen, not just with your ears, but with your mind and your presence. This is where your power lies. The world is full of noise, of people speaking to be heard rather than to understand. You can distinguish yourself by simply slowing down, by resisting the urge to react immediately, by creating space for someone else's truth to breathe. Ask yourself daily, am I listening to understand or am I listening to reply? Shift your focus and watch how profoundly it changes interactions. When you catch yourself drifting, pause, breathe, bring your attention back. Make the other person feel noticed, not as a task, but as a conscious choice. This is not manipulation. It is mastery over attention. It is Stoic in essence because it places control where it matters, within you. You can practice this every day. When someone speaks, mirror the essence of what they are saying, not parroting words, but echoing the emotion and intent. Reflect their concerns with calm acknowledgement and resist the temptation to fix, to argue, or to advise unless asked. Let silence be your ally. Silence communicates depth. A simple nod, a steady gaze, or a thoughtful pause conveys understanding far more than hurried responses. You are signaling, without forcing, that you see them as a complete human being, and that recognition carries more weight than $1 million ever could. Remember, connection is not transactional. It does not exist because you gain something in return. It exists because you are willing to align your awareness with another's reality. Seneca reminds us, one of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood. Imagine approaching interactions as opportunities to practice this principle. Every conversation, every exchange, is a chance to exercise patience, empathy, and clarity. To feel someone else's perspective without losing your own. To inhabit a space where judgment is suspended and sincere attention reigns. Take action intentionally. Each morning, set the intention that today you will prioritize understanding. Challenge yourself to notice the unspoken cues, the subtleties in tone, the energy behind words. Slow down. Ask questions that require reflection. Give responses that confirm you are present and attuned. Over time, these small habits compound. You become someone who is not just heard but deeply felt. This is magnetic. It is rare. It is priceless. Wealth can build walls, but understanding builds bridges. So choose to cultivate this skill relentlessly. Step into interactions fully, with purpose and calm. Let others feel that rare sensation of being truly seen and known. Because when you master the art of understanding, you unlock a power more potent than material riches. And in doing so, you transform not only how people value you, but how you value yourself, and the depth with which you navigate every human connection. Remember what Seneca once said: "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." What we've uncovered today isn't about money, luxury, or material wealth. It's about understanding the deeper currents of human connection. If you've paid attention, you now hold a psychological insight that can transform how you relate, communicate, and connect on a meaningful level. Apply it consciously, and you'll see the difference not in dollars, but in genuine respect, attention, and attraction. Don't let this knowledge fade. Practice it, refine it, and watch how it shifts your relationships. And if you want more strategies that go beyond the superficial and tap into what truly matters, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because the truth is, women, and people in general, value understanding, presence, and authenticity far more than $1 million ever could. Use this wisely and watch your world change. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. What if I told you that somewhere deep inside you there's a shadow version of yourself, one that holds you back from your true potential, your dreams, your peace? That shadow is made up of doubt, fear, procrastination, and old habits that no longer serve you. And here's the hard truth: you have the power to kill that shadow, right now. In this video, we'll dive into the timeless wisdom of one of the greatest Stoics who faced challenges far greater than ours and still mastered himself. You'll discover how to confront and eliminate the part of you that settles for less, the version that whispers "not today" or "I can't." This isn't just philosophy, it's a battle plan for your mind and your life. Stick around until the very end, because the insights waiting for you will not only inspire change but equip you with practical tools to transform who you are. If you want to rise above that shadow and become the best version of yourself, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Let's get started. Number 1, recognize the shadow self as your inner critic and fear. Let's get real for a moment. That shadow self, the one lurking in your mind, whispering doubts, fears, and all the what-ifs that hold you back, is not some mysterious enemy out there. It's your own inner critic and fear, wrapped up and disguised as your worst self. The great Stoic reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. The power to silence that shadow is already in your hands. You need to see this shadow self for what it truly is: a voice fueled by fear, self-doubt, and the stories you tell yourself when you're at your weakest. It's the part of you that says, "You can't do this," or "You'll fail," and it tries to control your every move by planting seeds of hesitation. But here's the truth: you don't have to let it win. You can turn that voice down until it's just background noise, no longer commanding your attention or dictating your actions. The first step: recognize when the shadow self speaks. When that anxious voice creeps in, pause. Don't let it flood your mind unchecked. Ask yourself, is this fear real, or is it just my shadow talking? Often it's just noise, false alarms triggered by your own insecurity. Said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Remember, the power to reframe your thoughts lies with you. Next, challenge those negative whispers. Write them down. See them in black and white. Sometimes the shadow self hides behind vague feelings. Putting those thoughts on paper makes them real and easier to question. Are they really true? Are they helping you grow or just holding you hostage? Here's a practical exercise to try today. Whenever you catch yourself sinking into self-doubt or fear, stop and breathe deeply 3 times. Then say aloud, "I am not my fear. I am stronger than this." Repeat it until it feels real. You're training your mind to recognize the difference between truth and shadow, between strength and illusion. You have to make this a habit. Every time you face your shadow self and refuse to bow to it, you kill its power over you. You chip away at the false narratives until all that remains is your true self, calm, confident, and unstoppable. So take control now. Own your mind. Remember Epictetus's wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The shadow self thrives on your reaction. Don't feed it. Instead, rise above. You will kill that shadow version of yourself, and in doing so, you'll unlock a strength that no fear can shake. Keep pushing, keep practicing. You've got this. Number 2, accept responsibility for your actions and thoughts. All right, let's get real for a moment. If you want to kill that shadow version of yourself, the part that holds you back, that whispers doubt and weakness, you have to own everything about who you are. That means accepting full responsibility for your actions and your thoughts. No more pointing fingers. No more excuses. This is where true power begins. Said it simply but powerfully. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. See, the moment you stop blaming circumstances, other people, or even your past and start owning your choices, you begin to reclaim control. That shadow self, it thrives on dodging responsibility. It's comfortable playing victim, but you're not here for comfort. You're here to grow, to evolve, and to conquer. So what does accepting responsibility really mean? It means looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself. When a thought drifts toward negativity or self-pity, catch it. When an action falls short of your values, recognize it without defensiveness. This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about waking up. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, urged. That's the call. Here's a practical way to start. Every evening, take 5 minutes to review your day. What choices did you make? Which thoughts held you back? Which actions aligned with who you want to become? Write them down. Don't just list, reflect. Ask yourself, where did I take ownership and where did I shy away? This simple habit trains your mind to take command instead of running wild. Another powerful exercise. When you feel blame creeping in, pause and ask, what part of this situation can I control? Shift your focus from the uncontrollable to your own response. This is your arena, your mind, your actions. This mindset shift is the weapon that dismantles the shadow self piece by piece. Remember, responsibility is not a burden, it's your gateway to freedom. By embracing it, you break the chains that keep that shadow alive. You're no longer a passenger in your life's journey. You become the driver, steering with clarity, purpose, and calm strength. So start today. Look honestly at your thoughts and actions. Take responsibility. You have the power. As reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your shadow self stands in your way. Now use responsibility to turn it into your path forward. Number 3, practice daily self-reflection to expose hidden fears. You want to kill that shadow version of yourself, the part that hides in fear, doubt, and all the things you don't want to face. How do you do that? It starts with daily self-reflection. Not just a quick glance at your day, but a deep, honest look inside. Every single day. This practice is your flashlight in the dark corners of your mind, where those hidden fears and uncomfortable truths lurk, waiting to be discovered and dismantled. Said the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What you think about, what you ignore, shapes who you become. If you don't pause and truly reflect, you allow those unexamined fears to grow unchecked, coloring your actions, decisions, and your peace of mind. Reflection isn't some abstract concept reserved for philosophers. It's a tool you can use daily to expose those fears, those shadows, and bring them out into the light where you can handle them. Here, what I want you to do, set aside 5 minutes every evening. Find a quiet spot, ask yourself, what made me uncomfortable today? What did I avoid thinking about? Where did fear show up in my choices or reactions? Don't rush. Don't judge. Just observe. Write it down if you can. Getting it out of your head and onto paper helps you see it clearly instead of letting it stew in the fog of your mind. Once you identify a fear or an uneasy feeling, ask, why does this bother me? What story am I telling myself about it? Often, the stories we believe aren't facts. They're just narratives we've accepted. Remember Epictetus' wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Reflection helps you spot those stories and challenge them. The power of this habit is in its consistency. Daily self-reflection creates a rhythm of awareness. It trains you to recognize the patterns your shadow self uses to manipulate your emotions and decisions. You start noticing how fear isn't a stranger but a visitor you can greet, question, and then politely show the door. To deepen this practice, try this next step. After identifying a fear, write down one small action you can take tomorrow to confront or lessen it. It doesn't have to be grand. Tiny steps chip away at the shadows hold over time. So don't wait for the shadows to overwhelm you. Hunt them down with curiosity and calm determination every day. You're not just surviving, you're evolving. As reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Be the person who faces their shadows head-on, who refuses to let fear dictate the path forward. Start tonight. Light that inner lamp with reflection. Kill the shadow version of yourself by knowing it fully and then choosing something better. Number 4, replace negative patterns with virtuous habits. All right, let's talk about something powerful, replacing those negative patterns, the ones that keep you stuck, anxious, or worse, with virtuous habits that actually serve you. You might not even realize how much that shadow version of yourself clings to old, worn-out routines that weigh you down. But here's the thing. Wasn't just throwing around fancy words when he said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you want to kill that shadow version, you need to start rewiring your mind and actions to something better, something stronger. You have the power right now to interrupt those destructive cycles. Think about it. Every habit you practice is like planting a seed. If you keep watering weeds, you get a jungle of chaos. But if you plant virtues, like patience, courage, and discipline, your life starts to grow in a new direction. This isn't about flipping a switch and being perfect overnight. It's about small, deliberate steps. So what does that look like? Start by identifying one negative habit you want gone. Maybe it's your reaction to stress or how you let your mind wander into worry. Once you've found it, replace it immediately with a positive action. When anxiety creeps in, breathe deeply and remind yourself, this moment is under my control. When you catch yourself complaining, pivot to gratitude. Say out loud 3 things you appreciate. These simple practices are your toolkit. Use them every single day. Reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That means action. Don't just think about being better, take the steps that make you better. Write down the habit you want to form. Carry that note with you. When the old pattern tries to sneak back, read it and remind yourself what you're building instead. Here's a quick exercise. Each morning, set a tiny intention to practice one virtue in your day. Maybe today it's kindness. Tomorrow, resilience. Keep it simple, track it. Reflect each evening, did you honor that virtue? How did it shift your day? Remember, this isn't just self-improvement fluff. It's the Stoic path to reclaim your mind and soul from the shadow self that drags you down. Replace the negative with the virtuous. Do it daily. Watch how that shadow fades, and the real you steps forward, stronger and freer than ever before. Number 5, embrace change, to transform and grow beyond your past self. All right, let's talk about something that really matters, embracing change to kill that shadow version of yourself and rise stronger. Said it best when he reminded us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, change, especially the uncomfortable kind, isn't just something to survive. It's the very tool you need to shape a better you. You see that shadow version of yourself? It's stuck in old habits, old stories, old fears, and guess what? Holding on to it only holds you back. But here's the truth you need to feel deep down. The moment you lean into change, you start shedding that shadow. It's a transformation, not a sudden switch. It's a constant process of letting go, learning, growing. Don't just think about change as something that happens to you. Take control. When you face discomfort, that's your cue to dig deeper, to ask yourself, what can I learn here? How can this moment make me better? The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus told us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So, your reaction, that's power. Own it. Here, what you can do right now. Start a simple daily habit of reflection. Each evening, ask yourself 2 questions. What did I resist today? And how could embracing that resistance help me grow? Write your answers down. This habit trains your mind to see change not as a threat but as a gateway. Next, practice small acts of intentional change. Shake up your routine. Choose to say yes to something unfamiliar or say no to something comfortable but unproductive. These tiny acts build your resilience and remind you that you're not defined by your past self. Remember, growth isn't about perfection. It's about progress, the kind that feels messy and uneven but real. Advised us, be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. Be that cliff. Let the waves of change hit you and use their energy to stand stronger, taller. You will stumble, you will question yourself. That's part of killing your shadow self. But each time you rise, you prove that change isn't your enemy, it's your ally. So start now. Embrace the discomfort, lean into the unknown, and watch yourself transform. Your new self is waiting. Remember, the shadow version of yourself, the doubts, fears, and old habits, only holds power if you let it. Didn't just survive his inner battles, he conquered them, and so can you. Now it's your turn to step into the light, to face yourself with courage, and to kill that shadow for good. If this message struck a chord, don't just watch, act. Share this video with someone who needs this reminder and hit subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to sharpen your mind and strengthen your spirit. Your journey to becoming your best self starts the moment you decide to fight the shadow and win. See you in the next video. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. What if I told you that within you lies an unlimited power waiting to be unlocked? Not some fantasy or vague motivation, but a real practical force you can tap into every single day. This power isn't about changing the world outside. It's about mastering the world inside your own mind. Imagine waking up each morning with unwavering calm, focus, and resilience no matter what life throws at you. That's the kind of strength the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher teaches us to cultivate. In this video, you will uncover how to access this limitless power through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. You'll learn how to silence doubt, overcome distractions, and become the master of your emotions. Stick with me till the very end because these insights don't just inspire, they transform. If you want to break free from limitations and step into your true potential, this journey is for you. Ready to claim the power that's always been inside you? Let's dive in. Number 1, recognize that your power lies within your own mind and choices. You have to understand this fundamental truth. Your true power isn't hidden in some far-off place in other people's opinions or in external events. It lives right inside your own mind in your choices, your judgments, and how you decide to respond to what life throws at you. Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This isn't just a nice thought. It's the foundation for unlocking a strength so vast it can change everything. Think about it, you can't control everything around you. You can't stop the world from shifting, people from acting unpredictably, or circumstances from testing your limits. But what you can control is how you think about those things. You choose your attitude. You decide what matters. You determine your response. This is where your power truly lies. It's your mind's ability to filter, to judge, and to pick the path you walk. When you accept that, you stop being a victim of circumstance. Instead, you become the captain of your own ship. So how do you start owning this power right now? First, pause whenever you feel overwhelmed or dragged down by something outside yourself. Take a deep breath. Ask, what is within my control here? The answer will almost always be your reaction, your effort, your mindset. Focus your energy there. Redirect your thoughts from, why is this happening to me, to what will I do about this? Here's a practical exercise to build this muscle. Each morning, take 2 minutes to set an intention. Remind yourself that the day ahead will bring challenges. Then say firmly, I control how I respond. My power is in my choices. Repeat it until it sticks. This small habit rewires your thinking and anchors you to your inner power. Remember, lived in a time when chaos and uncertainty were the norms. Yet he found peace and strength by focusing on what was inside his control, his own mind and judgments. You can do the same. No matter what storms rage outside, your mind is your fortress. It's your unshakable source of freedom. Lastly, watch your thoughts like a guardian. Question negative or limiting beliefs. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't, challenge it with, I choose to try. When doubt creeps in, remind yourself, my power is in how I face this moment. This practice isn't about ignoring reality. It's about owning your perspective and reclaiming your strength every time you feel it slipping away. You've got unlimited power inside you, waiting to be uncovered. It's your mind and your choices. Nothing external can take that from you unless you let it. Own that truth, live by it, and watch how everything shifts. Number 2, understand that external events are beyond your control. Focus on your response. You need to hear this loud and clear. External events, everything happening around you, are simply beyond your control. You cannot bend the world to your will, no matter how hard you try. This is a fundamental truth, and accepting it isn't about giving up or resigning yourself to passivity. On the contrary, it's the gateway to unlocking your unlimited power. One of the greatest Stoic philosophers reminded us again and again that what truly matters is not what happens to us, but how we respond. He said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is your key. Your strength lies not in controlling the uncontrollable, but in mastering your own reactions. So here's the challenge for you. Start shifting your focus. Instead of wasting energy fretting over what others do, what the world throws at you, or how circumstances unfold, turn your attention inward. Ask yourself, how can I respond wisely? How can I act with integrity and calm despite what's happening outside? This shift isn't easy. It takes practice. But each time you catch yourself spiraling into frustration or anxiety over something you cannot change, pause, breathe, remind yourself, this is beyond me. What I can control is my response. Try this practical exercise. When something upsetting or unexpected occurs, write down what happened and your immediate reaction. Then step back and reflect. Could you have chosen a different response? What would a calm, rational, and intentional reaction look like? How would that serve your peace of mind and your goals better? Repeat this exercise regularly. It rewires your mind to notice where your power truly lies. This isn't about suppression or denial of emotions. It's about directing them purposefully. Feel the anger, the disappointment, or the fear, but don't let them dictate your actions. You get to decide. That's where your true power lies. Think about the freedom in this. When you stop trying to command external events, you stop being a victim of circumstances. Instead, you become the captain of your ship, steering through any storm with clarity and resilience. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to live in accordance with nature, and nature is unpredictable. The winds will blow how they will, but your mind, your character, your choices, those are yours always. Commit to this mindset. Practice daily. When life tests you, and it will meet it with calm strength, respond with intention, not reaction. Watch how this simple, powerful habit transforms your experience. You will find an inner fortress no one can shake. You are not powerless, far from it. The real power was inside you all along, waiting for you to claim it. Now go claim it. Number 3, embrace challenges as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. You want to uncover your unlimited power, but here's the catch. That power doesn't reveal itself in comfort. It surfaces when you face the hard stuff. When life throws challenges your way, your instinct might be to avoid or resist them. But the Stoics, especially, teach us to flip the script entirely. They show us how to see challenges not as obstacles, but as stepping stones, opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Think about that. When something blocks your path, that's not the end of the road, it's the road. Your true strength shows up in how you respond. So stop seeing challenges as threats. Start viewing them as invitations to stretch beyond what you thought possible. This isn't about pretending hardship is easy or pretending you don't feel the pressure. It's about choosing your response. When discomfort, failure, or setbacks come knocking, remind yourself that these moments are exactly where growth hides. That tension you feel, it's the gym where your mind and character build muscle. Now, how do you start embracing challenges as growth opportunities? First, shift your mindset. When a challenge arises, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn here? How can this make me better? That simple question reprograms your brain from resistance to curiosity. Next, practice patience with yourself. Growth isn't instant. Sometimes the lessons reveal themselves only after repeated effort and reflection. Advise to be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Hold yourself accountable, but don't beat yourself up for struggling. The struggle is part of the process. Then build a daily habit of reflection. Each evening, take a few minutes to think back on your day. What challenges did you face? How did you react? What can you do differently tomorrow? Writing this down makes it concrete. It turns abstract ideas into real steps forward. Also, remember to keep your purpose clear. Challenges feel less daunting when you anchor yourself to why you're doing what you do. Your values, your goals, your vision, they fuel resilience. When you know what you're aiming for, every obstacle becomes a test of how badly you want it. Finally, lean into discomfort instead of running from it. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Know this deeply. He faced enormous pressure yet stayed calm and focused because he saw hardship as a natural and necessary part of life's training ground. So your call to action today is this. Next time you face a challenge, stop and change your story about it. Don't ask, why me? Instead, say, how will this make me stronger? How will it deepen my wisdom? Let that mindset be your compass. You have unlimited power within. It's not locked away in easy moments but forged in the fire of trials. Choose to embrace challenges, and you will watch yourself grow into the strongest version of yourself imaginable. That is the Stoic way. That is your way. Number 4, practice daily self-reflection to align actions with your true values. You want to uncover your unlimited power. Start with one of the simplest yet most profound practices, daily self-reflection. It might sound basic, but trust me, this habit is the cornerstone of living a life that truly aligns with your deepest values. One of the greatest Stoics urged us to look inward every day. He said, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." That's your power waiting to be discovered. Now, why daily self-reflection? Because without it, your actions can drift aimlessly, pulled by distraction, habit, or external pressures. When you pause to reflect, you regain control. You check in with yourself, asking, did what I did today honor who I want to be? Did my choices reflect my true values? If the answer is no, that's not a moment for judgment, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to course correct, to steer your life back on the path you actually want. Here's the key, make this a daily ritual. It doesn't have to be long. 5 minutes before bed or right after waking up works wonders. Grab a notebook or just sit quietly with your thoughts. Ask yourself, what did I do today that reflected my values? Where did I stray from what really matters to me? What can I do differently tomorrow to live more authentically? You're training your mind to notice when you're off track, and that awareness is power. It breaks the autopilot. It makes you the driver, not a passenger. Remember Epictetus' wisdom. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You're not just trying to survive the day, you're building the person you want to become. Daily reflection helps you see clearly who that person is and what they require from you in every moment. So how to actually start? First, set a consistent time. Pick a moment that works and stick to it. Consistency builds momentum. Second, keep it simple. Use a journal or your phone notes. Write a few honest sentences or just mentally review your day. Thirdly, ask powerful questions. Focus on values, actions, and intentions. Make it personal. Next up, be kind to yourself. Reflection isn't about beating yourself up. It's about learning and growing. Finally, make a plan for tomorrow. Use what you discover to decide one thing you'll do differently. This habit is like shining a light on the path ahead. You see where you are and where you need to go. Over time, your actions and values merge. You become unstoppable because your life flows from an authentic center. Don't underestimate the power of simply looking within. Know it well. When you commit to daily self-reflection, you tap into a wellspring of strength that no external force can take away. Start today, just 5 minutes. Look into yourself, ask the hard questions, and align your actions with what truly matters. That's how you uncover your unlimited power. Number 5, cultivate resilience by accepting fate and acting virtuously regardless. You want to tap into your unlimited power, and one of the strongest ways to do that is by cultivating resilience. But resilience isn't just about toughing it out or gritting your teeth through hard times. It's about accepting fate, the reality of what life throws your way, and choosing to act virtuously no matter what. Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This isn't some abstract philosophy. It's a call to action. You can't control every twist or turn life hands you, but you can control how you respond. Start by shifting your perspective on obstacles. Instead of fighting what's beyond your control, see it as an opportunity to practice virtue, courage, wisdom, justice, and self-discipline. Imagine every setback as a moment where you can strengthen your character. This mindset doesn't make hardship vanish, but it transforms how you experience it. The more you accept fate calmly and clearly, the less you waste energy on frustration or resistance. That energy, redirect it to purposeful action. Now let's get practical. Here, what you can do to build this kind of resilience today. First, pause when faced with difficulty. Breathe. Remind yourself, this situation is outside my control, but my reaction is within my power. This simple internal dialogue rewires your mind. It separates what you can influence from what you cannot. Next, commit to acting virtuously regardless of circumstance. This might mean choosing honesty when lies seem easier, or showing patience when anger wants to flare. Virtue isn't a switch you flip once. It's a muscle you exercise consistently. And with every repetition, you get stronger. Third, journal your reflections. Each evening, write down moments where you either accepted fate gracefully or struggled to do so. Note what worked, what didn't, and what you can improve tomorrow. This habit makes resilience tangible and trackable. It keeps you honest with yourself. Fourth, remind yourself of the Stoic principle that nothing truly harms your soul unless you let it. Said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Whatever block you face, see it as part of the path, not a dead end. Finally, anchor your day in purpose. When your actions align with your core values, resilience naturally follows. You're no longer at the mercy of fate's whims because your inner compass guides you. This makes you unstoppable in the face of external chaos. Remember, resilience is not about avoiding pain or discomfort. It's about meeting them head-on, with virtue as your shield and acceptance as your foundation. Each time you choose this path, you uncover a deeper well of power within. Your unlimited power isn't some secret talent hidden away. It's the strength you build every day by embracing fate and responding with integrity. So start now. Embrace what you cannot control, act virtuously, and watch your resilience and your life transform. Remember, the unlimited power speaks of isn't some distant myth. It's already inside you, waiting to be claimed. Every moment you choose to act with purpose, wisdom, and resilience, you unlock a deeper part of that strength. So don't just watch this and walk away. Take it as your call to rise, to master your mind, and to live boldly with the calm confidence of a true Stoic warrior. If this video sparked something inside you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because the journey to your limitless power is just getting started. Keep coming back, keep growing, and remember, your greatest strength is in how you respond to life right now. Stay strong, stay unstoppable.